Hi, everyone, and welcome to Microsoft Teams for Beginners. My name is Julie Miller, and I have worked in New Bedford Public Schools for the past 15 years. I've had various roles. I've been a first grade teacher, a TLS, and currently I've been in the ESL teacher role for the past 5 years. I grew up in New Bedford and went to New Bedford Public Schools from kindergarten all the way through senior year of the high school. My parents were both New Bedford Public Schools educators. I have one fur baby, Theodore, and I am not a technology expert. I only learned the things that I have learned is through YouTube, from my colleagues, and using various help features in different platforms. So are you feeling this way when it comes to Microsoft Teams? I was too when I was first introduced, but we'll get through this. Some of the outcomes for today are you're going to learn how to create a class in Microsoft Teams. You will learn how to create assignments as a teacher. You will learn how students submit their assignments. You will also learn about how to schedule a virtual meeting or a lesson and how to start and join that meeting as a teacher and also as a student. And lastly, you will learn about various features that the meeting has. It's just our agenda. So we're going to talk first about creating a class, then creating assignments, students' views of assignments, completing the assignments, scheduling a virtual meeting or lesson, and then the various features of meetings. So with Microsoft Teams, every New Bedford Public Schools employee has access to Microsoft Teams. One way to access Teams is you can do a web search for Microsoft Teams login, or another way is you can log into your email, and then you can click on those 9 dots near Outlook in the top left-hand corner. I'm going to just refer to it as the waffle. And in there, you will find Teams, and you can click on it. Now, when you first log into Teams, it might ask you to either download the Windows app on your computer or to use the web app. So these are the two options. So the first is the Windows app on your computer, and the second is just opening it from the internet browser. And if you are prompted to, you have to enter your New Bedford Public Schools email and password. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay. So if you go to a Google search and type in Microsoft Teams login, you can click and then sign in. Here is where you can either choose to get the Windows app or use the web app instead. So let's just click on this one. Okay. Now, here I am logged in. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do it on the app. So I have already downloaded the application on my desktop. So I am going to go to my desktop, go to Teams. It will open. And then it will prompt me to put in my school email. I believe my password's already saved, so I don't have to enter it. And it is loading Microsoft Teams. You will see this icon at the bottom, and that represents Microsoft Teams. So now I'm in Teams. In a few seconds, everything will load. I'm going to go back to the presentation here. Okay. So now we're going to talk about how to create a class on Teams. So to create a class, you would click on the 3 dots, so the ellipses on the left-hand side of the page, and then you would click on Teams. Then in the top right-hand corner, you would click on join or create a team. All the teams that you are a part of will appear here on your, it's kind of like a Teams dashboard page. It'll show all the different teams that you are a part of. Now, how to create the class is you would click on the purple create a team, and then you would have some options here. You can either select class, a PLC, staff, or other. So for this, you're going to click on class. Then you would just create a team name. So it could be whatever your class is. And then you can add a description if you'd like. Okay, now, after you create your class, you're going to want to add students. So you can add students just by typing their names into the box, and then it will automatically populate with their email. You can also add teachers to your class if you'd like a co-teacher, someone else to be able to assign different assignments or see what it is that you're assigning your kids. It's the same way, you just type in the name. Now, if you ever want to add someone to your class after you already set it up, what you would do is on the main screen, you would click on the little, it looks like a lowercase I in a circle in the top right corner of the page, and then a drop-down menu would appear. And you would click on the little people with the plus sign near members. And then you would get the option to choose students or teacher, and you would just type their name into the box, and they would be added to your class. And then your classroom right now is all set up. Once you have added your students or teachers, they're in your class and you are ready to go. So let me show you how to do that. Once you're in Teams here, you would go to those three ellipses here on the left-hand side. Click on Teams, so it's not there. I'm going to click on More Apps. Oh, the reason why it's not showing up here is because I have already clicked on Teams. So you're going to have to, if you have the word Teams above those ellipses, anywhere here on the left-hand side, just click on it. And that will show you the different classes or groups that you're involved in. So to create a class, you would go up here to the top right-hand corner, click on that. Now you're going to create a team. So you can click on the purple Create Team. We're going to create a class, and then I'm just going to name it. And I'm going to click Next. Okay, now I'm just going to type in some students' names here. And it will pop up, click on Add. Now you can add more than one student at a time, so you could keep going and add more. I'm just going to add one student for this. And then when you want to add a teacher, you could click on Teachers. You could add any of your teachers that need to be attached to your class here. When you're all set, you're going to click on Close. So now this is the classroom I just created. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to create assignments. Now you can upload class materials by clicking on Files and uploading documents. Things that you would want to put in class materials would be things that you would want the students to use but not necessarily interact with. They won't be able to manipulate that file, so they'd only be able to view it. So if you want to put in some readings that they need to do, or an example of an assignment or an exemplar, you would put it in Files under Class Material. So to create an assignment, you need to click on the Assignments tab at the top and then click on Create at the bottom. When you click on Create, you can choose to create an assignment, a quiz, or from existing. Now, an assignment is an assignment. A quiz would be in the, I believe it's Forms for Microsoft. And then from existing would be if you already created an assignment for a different class, you would be able to then choose that assignment for this class. It's kind of the same as reuse post in Google Classroom. So here again, if you go to the assignments tab and you create an assignment, you would just add a title, some instructions, points if you want to do points. You can add a rubric. You can add a due date and a due time. And you can also add a category under the title. So if you want to put the week that it's due, or if you want to put it under a specific unit or theme, you would add that category there. You can also add resources by clicking on the paperclip, and that's where you would add any files that they need to use in order to do the assignment. And then you always want to click on Save. So your assignments that you create are going to be posted onto the wall under Posts. So there's an assignment that I had created. Let me just walk you through that quickly. So here we would go, so if you wanted to add materials, you could go here to upload class materials, or you could go to files. And then you could upload whatever documents you have that you want to upload here. You can add folders to organize it. You can add something directly from Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, okay? For assignments, you want to go to Assignments. Okay, get started because we haven't used it before. You want to click on Create, and we're just going to do Assignment. And here is where you would enter a title of your assignment, any instructions, points, what class you're assigning it to, what students you're assigning it to. So this is where a teacher that's a co-teacher, if they're not working with all the students in the class, they would be able to make their assignments for particular students and not the whole class. That would be here. You could click there. And due dates, due times. This is where you can add a category. So you could type in a theme that you're working on, or the week, the dates. Resources, you can add any resources that are in your OneDrive. So Google Classroom used your Google Drive. Microsoft Teams uses your OneDrive. It's very similar. Okay, once you're all set with this, you would click on Save. Okay, this would then show your assignments, but since I didn't really do an assignment, it's not there. I can show you an assignment in one moment. We'll look at my other page I have. So the students' view of the assignments. So this is what it would look like on the students page. The classes that the students have been added are going to appear on the screen, and they would need to click on the class and then click Next. So on their assignments, they would also have that bar on the left-hand side of their screen, and they would click on Assignments, and that's where they would see what was been assigned to them. It will also show what has been completed, so what they've already done. Once the students click on the assignments, the directions will appear. So here's an example of a practice assignment that I created. It says to write about which type of learning you like better, face-to-face or remote. That is the student's assignment. Now we're going to talk about completing the assignments. So the students will click on that paperclip with Add Work. And then they're going to choose a new file, or they can add a link for their work. So they also have access to OneDrive. So if they have completed something in a Microsoft program like Word or Excel or PowerPoint, it would be in their OneDrive. So they can either add the new file or they can link something as well to their assignment. Now, when the student clicks on the plus new file, they can choose which type of file that they would upload. Okay, so the students will name their file. Now, when I did this example, I clicked on a Word document and then I clicked Attach. So then this will show underneath, under my work, you will see that document. This is the student's view. And when you click on the assignment, you can click on Edit Document. And then you can choose an option to edit. So you could choose to make quick changes right here using Word, or you could open Word in the desktop app. Again, this is for the students. Now, if you click on Edit, this will open some of the functions of Microsoft Word. So here the students can type their responses and then click on Close when they're finished. Everything is automatically saved, just like if we were using Google Docs. Same thing, everything's already saved. This is the same exact thing that's happening here. It's saved into their OneDrive. So this is, the student is not previously doing the work on a different document and then uploading it. On what this example is showing is the students actually doing the work right in Teams using Microsoft Word. Then when the students are finished, they need to click on the Turn In button in the upper right-hand corner. And when the work's turned in, the students are going to see the date and time that it was submitted. And they also have the option to undo the turn in. That's similar to Google Classroom, where you have the Turn In button. Okay. So that is the creation and the completion of doing assignments in Google Classroom. I'm sorry, in Microsoft Teams. They will go over some additional things in the intermediate and advanced Microsoft Teams, but this is just the basics. So now we're going to go over scheduling a virtual meeting or a lesson using Teams. So to schedule a virtual meeting or a lesson, you will click on the calendar on the left-hand side of the page, and then you'll click on the plus new meeting in the upper right-hand corner. So this is to schedule a meeting. The other button that says Meet Now, that means that if you click that, your meeting will automatically start. And whoever is on Teams will get a notification that there's a meeting. But to schedule it, you would go, instead of just doing it in the moment, you would click on plus new meeting. And you would enter the information for the meeting, and then you would click on save. So you have your title of your meeting. You could put in who's required to attend. You could put the date when it's happening. You can set it so it's a reoccurring lesson. It happens at the same time, every day of the week. You can add a channel, location if you'd like, and you can also add any kind of details for the meeting here at the bottom. And then you want to click on Save. Now, you do not have to add required attendees if you do not want, because it will automatically go to all of the people or all of the students in your classroom. Now, when the meetings or the lessons are scheduled, they're going to appear on your Outlook calendar as well as on your Teams calendar. It also will show on your wall under Posts. Now, when you're ready to start this meeting, you will click on the meeting and it will open the meeting details. And then all you have to do is click on the purple Join box. Okay. So when the teacher starts the meeting, the students, so these are students' views, they're going to be able to see a purple box in the right-hand corner of their screen, and they can click on Join. Now, once they click on Join, they might see this other screen where it says Waiting for Others to Join. Okay, so if they see Waiting for Others to Join, they just have to wait, and then once more people join the meeting, they will appear. Now, there are various features of the meetings in Microsoft Teams that we're going to review. So when you schedule your meeting, you can click on Meeting Options, and a new window will appear. So here, there's Meeting Options, and then the new window. Now, there are various meeting options that you can edit. So you can, who can bypass the lobby? So that means they're not in a waiting room. You can fix that. You can change it. You can always let callers bypass the lobby. You can either enable that with yes, or you can disable it. Announce when callers join or leave, and then who can present. So who can share their screen. And then always click on save to save whatever changes you've made. Say you want to cancel a meeting. All you have to do is open the meeting details and click on cancel meeting. You can add a cancellation note if you'd like, and then you just press cancel. Your participants will get a notification that the meeting has been canceled. There's also something called Scheduling Assistant. When you create a new meeting, you can click on Scheduling Assistant to see who's available and unavailable at the meeting time that you're selecting. I find that this is helpful, not necessarily with the students in the classroom, but having meetings in the building with various colleagues. This will show who's available and who's not. Now, there's also an option to, when you click on new meeting, there's an little arrow on the right-hand side, and you can either schedule the meeting or you can create a live event. Now, creating a live event will enable you to create a meeting that anyone can view or attend by providing the invitation link. So this is sort of reminds me of like Zoom, where you would send out that invitation and then your students would be able to access your live lesson that way. This is how they do it in Teams. So you would create your live event. You would fill in the information. You would click on next. And then there's live event permissions. So with these permissions, you can choose to have your live event only for people in groups or organizational wide. So that would be everyone in New Bedford Public Schools could go to your event, or you could even make it public where anyone can view it, whether they're on the New Bedford Public Schools account or if they're on a personal account. There's also various options about recording. So things can be recorded or not recorded. You can have captions to your meetings, or you can have it even translated if you'd like. It says there's 6 different languages there. So there's various options you can do for the live event. And then you always want to click on schedule. So to invite the attendees after you've scheduled that live event, you will click on the Get Attendee link, and then you'll send it to the people that you would like to attend the meeting or to the event. And you, as the host of that or the presenter, would have to click on Join to start that meeting. And you can also cancel it by clicking on Cancel Meeting. Now, if you need more help with Microsoft Teams, you can always go to the question mark in the bottom left-hand corner of the main page for the Help section. There are various tutorials and trainings in the Microsoft Teams Help section. This is where I actually went to learn a lot more about Microsoft Teams than what I already knew. So this is a great option that Microsoft Teams has. So if you have any specific questions, you might want to visit one of these topics or trainings or what's new in order to get information. They do have little videos that go over different aspects of Teams. They are very beneficial, so I suggest you look there for help if you want to learn anything more. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today, and I hope this is beneficial for you. If you have any questions, you could reach out to me, and I would try my best to assist you. My name, again, is Julie Miller, and my email address is jmiller@newbedfordschools.org.